Pitch Perfect is the best movie accidentally made while trying to film Anna Kendrick's boobs. This is a movie that I put off watching for years, and I only just got around to because I was bored and heard there was a third one coming out. There were two reasons I avoided it. One, it seemed like a woman's comedy. I mean, the cast is pretty much all girls except for the few pussies that are actually guys. And two, it was all about singing and dancing. Obviously, as a young man, these are traits that do not appeal to me. The movies I watch must have ripped dudes slaughtering slightly less ripped dudes, with the least amount of plot needed to get to the action. However, I am glad I was bored enough to give Pitch Perfect a chance because it's hilarious, well constructed, and has a lot of cleavage shots. The movie consists of Becca, an oddly emo-like college student being forced by her father to go to college for free, instead of trying to make it as a music producer in LA. I know I'd be mad too if I had to get a degree without going deeply into debt. But plot happens and she ends up joining a disgraced a cappella group, the Bellas. This also leads to a romantic subplot with Disney Channel reject Jessie. I'm not going to spoil any of the plot, but more or less, you see Anna Kendrick's boobs a lot and things go about how you would expect. Surprisingly, Pitch Perfect is self-aware enough to make fun of movies for being predictable, but not actually enough to subvert any expectations except to get a few laughs. However, much of the humor stems from rather one-dimensional characters surrounding the slightly more dramatic and complex main character Becca. Thankfully, most of the characters are fresh and never feel overused, qualities the sequel decided weren't needed. The rest of the humor is derived from how serious everyone is about the music equivalent of Burger King, a cappella, or it's derived from Becca's reaction to the seriousness. The actual drama of the film is thankfully not undercut by the humor or the movie's tone. And the film is pretty much a perfect example of classical storytelling. Every event is set up earlier in the movie. It's like a Chekhov's armory, because nearly all elements introduced in the first or second act of the movie are used at least once later on. Even the early 2000s style puking scene that makes this movie look as bad as a scary movie sequel. The best example is how in every scene you can see Anna Kendrick's cleavage, so you can climax during the movie's climax. I found that to be a nice touch. There were a few times where plot points just kinda happened, but they were never outrageous and are made up for by the fact that the rest of the movie is so well constructed. But there was a part of this film that lacked the great construction that the story had, which was the cinematography. It was pretty boring, which is expected in most comedies, but not in most musicals. Which this movie kinda is. I don't think of it as one, but music takes up over a third of its runtime. It definitely is a musical. And like most modern musicals, it uses already popular music as its score. Except for that random cup song they had Anna Kendrick make, a song so successful that the studios decided to ruin the next movie by shoehorning in a shitty original song about flashlights, or who gives a shit. They forced it in a ton of scenes. That's what's important, which I appreciated a lot less than what they packed this movie full of. Overall, Pitch Perfect is a fantastic comedy with fun characters, a well-made plot, and sequels with problems. So there are at least a couple reasons why I would recommend this movie to pretty much anyone. In the end, I would give Pitch Perfect a nearly obsessive amount of boob shots out of 10. The best score I've given yet. Thanks for watching, I'm Eric and I plan to do more movie reviews. So, if you liked the video, maybe like and or subscribe. I don't know which movie will be next, maybe Pitch Perfect 2, maybe something else, who knows.